Good night, good night, good night. Buenas noches todos, todo el mundo. Perdón porque estamos empezando un poco tarde, 5 minutos tarde. But please forgive us, but we tend to get so busy and we get stuck with the time. And tonight we need to have this talk show of the We Got You Back program about the Citizens Advisory Committee working along with the police officers here in Orangewa. And we want to discuss about something very, 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 it is urgent, it is dangerous, it is risky. The officers will explain that to you. But before anything else, ladies and gentlemen, buenas noches, good evening, buenas noches, good night, good night, good night, noches. I hope you can listen to us and then share with others what you will hear. But before that, before we introduce our visitors, our guests, I want to express on behalf of the Citizens Advisory Committee our deepest condolences to the family of our late guide, our late sister, our late supporter of groups working with the police who passed out last week, and that is Mrs. Bernadette Cornejo. You remember Miss Bernadette Cornejo? Big, always sitting here with us, telling us good things, what to do, always advising us what to do. Nuestras condolencias a la familia de la señora Bernadette Cornejo que falleció la semana pasada. Lástima, la perdimos. Orangewa y Belice han perdido a alguien grande, pero ella hizo su contribución para ayudar a la sociedad beliceña. Y una de las razones por qué ella hacía eso es porque ella quería que todos estén salvos. She wanted everybody to be safe, to obey the rules, obey the laws, work together, help one another, avoid drugs. You remember how she spoke strong against drugs. Avoid things that will hurt one another. Miss Cornejo is gone. We have to find another one like Miss Cornejo. It's going to be impossible, but we'll look around. If somebody is willing to join us, come talk to me, and we will join, and we will make you join the Citizens Advisory Committee. It is something good, ladies and gentlemen. Es algo bueno, este movimiento de los ciudadanos que aconsejan a la policía en sus trabajos. No hay nada perfecto, pero estamos luchando para eso. Y yo quiero dedicar esta sesión, esta hora de este programa We Got You Back en honor de la señora Bernadette Cornejo. Lo que digamos, lo que hagamos, lo que decidamos en memoria de Miss Cornejo, teniéndole en mente a ella, porque ella siempre nos aconsejaba. So it is in honor of Mrs. Bernadette Cornejo that we're offering this program, We Got You Back. As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, it was Mrs. Cornejo who came up with that name, We Got You Back. She was the one. In a meeting, we were breaking our heads how to call the program, and she said, why didn't you call it We Got You Back? And we stuck with that, and we stay with that. And today we have We Got You Back program. So, buenas noches una vez más, and let's enjoy this one. I want to tell you that tonight we have two officers in the traffic department of Orangewa, and we have Mr. Hill, and then we have Corporal Marin. I will ask them to introduce themselves as to what they do before they start to give us the good points of what I will tell you what we're going to talk about. Mr. Hill, can you introduce yourself, por favor?
Yes, Mr. Mande. Good night to everyone. Good night to all the radio listeners, the TV viewers out there. Well, Mr. Mande, I would like to kind of elaborate a little bit on what you said about Miss Cornejo.
Yes, sure.
She was definitely a person who loved safety. She was one of the persons that introduced many situations that were happening, and she made it known, you know what, we need to do this to stop this, or do this to stop that. And one of the things that I learned about her, that she was very passionate about safety. And I like the way you said it, that we're going to dedicate this show on her memory. She has done her part by installing and planting the seed on each one of us that knew her and that knew the passion she had. And with that, Mr. Mandy, I would like to say that it's now on our part. We need to do our part now, right? She did what she could. The good Lord took her away from us, and it's time for us to continue where she left. And I like that name. We got you back, Mr. Mandy, right? So my name is Edwin Hill, everyone, and I have been serving the department and the public of Orange Walk for a little bit over 10 years. I'm in charge of operations, events, and compliance.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Thank you for that. May we proceed to Corporal Adrian Marin, por favor, introducete. Please feel free to speak either English or Spanish. Como guste. Como guste, please.
In English, you don't matter. Good night, everyone. Again, my name is Adrian Marin, Corporal of Police, presently attached to the Orange Walk Traffic Unit. Once again, I have the pleasure to be here with you tonight and advise the general public, especially the drivers using the roads, to be more careful in driving and take care of our persons on the road. No? Well,
Corporal Adrian Marin, thank you very much for that introduction. And our topic for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, our topic is what should we do? What can we do to avoid getting into accidents while walking, caminando, or riding a bicycle, or riding a motorcycle, or driving a car, a pickup truck, a taxi, a big truck, a bus, and things like that. Any vehicle. What can drivers do to avoid using a cellular phone, un teléfono celular, of somebody who is calling you, and then you want to answer, and you are driving, or you're walking, and you don't realize something is coming in front of you, or in a cycle, or in a bicycle. This is seen every day in Orange Walk Town, and we want to bring this up. The Citizen Advisory Committee says, bring it to the knowledge of the people, of the public, to avoid doing this. Let's find ways to use or not use the cellular phone while driving. What can you do? And these two officers are going to explain to us tonight how to do it. Because there can be penalties. There can be penalties for that. You might say, but we're not going to lie yet. We don't have a law in Belize that talks about this. Of course not. But they will explain that. Ellos lo van a explicar. Could you begin now, Mr. Hill? Please.
Yes, Teacher Mandy, that is right. Rightly said, Mr. Mandy. It is something that has become a habitual practice when it comes to people that commute every day on the road, right? Like how you mentioned many things just now, and you mentioned things like bus drivers, vehicle drivers, motorcycle drivers, and traffic entails everyone. Even the guy that is taking care of a herded animal. Like, for example, like I saw the other day, like, there was a guy directing the buffalo, a cattleman, we would call the cattleman, on the highway. That's by A&R, by the bodega.
Okay.
And I can recall quite well. And if I had the picture, I would have shown it. But the guy was so distracted on his phone, on top of his horse, Mr. Mandy, and he didn't realize that a herd, like a small herd of about 5 buffaloes, were on the road. And I can recall I have experience of riding horses, I had to get on another horse and ride and herd those animals back to the bushes.
Really?
And it was something that we took a picture of it, and it was something funny for us, but at the same time, like that with the phone, Mr. Mandy, like, the guy was right there and he had no knowledge of what was happening in his surrounding. He completely lost focus because he was concentrated on his phone, right? So you mentioned something apart from that, yes, people may say that we don't have nothing in law that we cannot ticket you about, using your phone while driving, or or summons you to court for that. But let's remember this. We often see the news, and we often hear people getting charged for the charge of driving without due care and attention. And driving without due care and attention entails a lot of things that may impede us from being completely focused on the road. Mr. Marwin will elaborate on that after this, but driving without due care and attention. When you hear the word due care and attention, it can be anything. It can be you on a cell phone. It can be you trying to change the station on a radio. You taking care of a toddler that is behind you on your vehicle. So all of these things, Mr. Mane, but the phone, the issues about phone. We have many gadgets. We have Bluetooth that certain drivers that are, professional drivers out there, first thing you do when you go into your vehicle, you connect your phone to your Bluetooth, a little headpiece. And with the modern vehicles that are coming out these days, you can answer your phone on the touch of right by the steering wheel, right? But what I would like to say to the general public out there is, like how you mentioned, Mr. Man, it's so easy for you to just pull on the side and answer whatever call you may have to call, right? It is something easy. It is something that won't cause us, 30 seconds for us to just pull on the side. But some of us choose to just risk it. Mm-hmm. And at a blink of an eye, Mr. Right, Mandy, at the blink of an eye, when you focus, when you get back to focusness, a child runs in front of the road. Yeah. You didn't see that child. Why? Because you were seeing your phone. Mm-hmm. So my advice would be that don't take the risk. It's not worth it. Answering a phone call, answering an emergency call, you're going to cause yourself to commit another emergency by hitting someone. So my advice to that would be just like how you mentioned, Mr. Mane, just pull on the side, do the right thing, put your signal light, you pull on the side, and you proceed in answering your call.
That's one way. That's one way. Officer, in Orange Walk, we see a lot of things happening that can be dangerous, and this is one. Attending to the cellular phone while driving. I just hope, I wish not, that we have to wait for an accident to happen of somebody getting hurt by a vehicle being driven by somebody who was attending to that cellular phone and not that person or that child. And then we start to talk, then we're going to start organizing ourselves. It is too late. Es muy tarde. ¿Por qué esperar que suceda? Now that we have a group of citizens who want to see the safety of the people and encourage the traffic officers to do justice, to apply the law to these people, I think it is time that we listen to the advice that you are giving and that the couple will give to avoid accidents. Because right now we have a tremendous amount of vehicles, officers. Vehicles and vehicles. You look at Orange Walk on a Friday and a Saturday and a Monday. 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock. If you're not careful, you will get in trouble. And we do not have enough policemen or enough traffic officers from the municipal body to do the checking of everybody on all the streets. So we have to do our part. And we need to listen to advice like what you officers are giving. We want to see people enjoy their lives in safety. Queremos ver que vivan en seguridad cuando andan en la calle. Captain Marvin, can you elaborate on that? What he asked, what he said about driving without due care and attention. What is that? Okay.
Mr. Wandi, under the laws of Belize, that will be Chapter 230 of the Road Traffic Act, Chapter 83(1), if I am not mistaken, that's drove without due care and attention.
Okay.
That entails, it's very wide, and usually a driver who is involved in any traffic accident is charged for that, no? Um, so we advise drivers to be more focused on the road and to take care of the road users, especially the persons crossing the pedestrian ramps. Sometimes drivers, like you said, are distracted by any device, cellular phone, like you said, or it could be a child, a toddler that within the vehicle, or any other distraction. So it just take 1 second to get in an accident. So we advise all drivers and road users to be more careful, more focused on the road, and especially in the school zones, in the morning times and lunch break times, especially to take care of these children, school children, and we find a lot of people who are trying to rush at those times, but they have to take care on the road, be more focused. And,
Corporal, very good what you're saying. But the enforcement needs to be done. Not only said verbally, but when somebody commits something like that, stop that person, bring him down or whatever, and apply the law to him. Only so we are going to learn. Only so. That is the Belizean practice here in Orangewa. That, I know the police officer. I know the traffic officer. I'm going to give him $50 and they finish. But what happens to if you hit a child? At $50, $100 don't work. All right? So the Citizen Advisory Committee thinks, we have discussed this already, thinks that the laws must be applied to those who commit these offenses. Se tiene. If 1, 2, or 3 have to be used as an example, do so. No queda who. Otherwise we will be losing, we will be fighting a losing battle. Can that be done? Can that be done now? No.
Mr. Mande, it can be done now. Right, you mentioned something very keenly, right? You issue a person a ticket, a $50 ticket, or $100 ticket. They go and they pay the fine. But will that stop them? Will that stop them from doing it again? That is what you are saying, Like, for example, you can go and you can issue a $100 ticket. Right? We have, yes, that was right, by the way, Mr. Marine, under chapter 230. Section 83, subsection 1, right? Driving without due care and attention, right? Whereby you as an officer can stop a person while on his or her phone, right? And you can prove that to a court. Yes, the person can get charged and can get fined, right? Based on the offense. If a person runs a light, for example, La Maculada, we have certain situations that have happened with people on their phone, and they're not observant, they're not fully focused on their surrounding, on a traffic light or on a pedestrian. So many of times we find that the pedestrian has to stop for the vehicle to cross on a pedestrian ramp, and it should be the other way around, whereby the driver come and the driver needs to stop for the pedestrian to cross. So yes, we come and we issue them a ticket, we issue them a fine. Now when it comes to the court level, like how you mentioned, that driving without due care and attention, people need to know they're like, for example, I wouldn't like put everything on us law enforcement, officers, agencies, because like rightfully mentioned earlier, Ms. Cornejo did her part as much as she could, just like how myself with my department, along with Corporal Marin and his department, are doing the best that they can. But we need to ask ourselves as individuals, as drivers, are we doing the best that we can? Am I doing the best that I can as a driver? So enforcement is one, but I think as an individual out there, we played 100% role out there, because we can only do much, But then no hay que esperar, como dice usted, hasta que algo pase. Porque después, si nosotros nos ponemos a pensar, si no le pasa a mi hijo, todo está bien. Pero no tenemos que pensar así. Si no le pasó a mi hermanito o a mi hermana o a mi esposa, no importa. Tenemos que dejar de pensar así como beliceños. Necesitamos que ponernos a pensar, what's good for my child is good for another one's child. Por ejemplo, eso del phone, como dice usted. The town is being overpopulated with vehicles, right? El town está lleno de vehículos. So tenemos lo que pasa. Otro problema que está en el town es el spacing, proper vehicle length, right? So we find out that vehicles are almost half a vehicle length from each. Estamos hablando de 5 feet at a slow pace. And if at a moment you get distracted by just answering a call, you're trying to Bluetooth your phone, because these days you have Bluetooth. You're trying to connect your Bluetooth or trying to listen or change any radio station, and a child just run in front of you, or maybe the driver in front of you had to stop because of any reason, you wouldn't have any reaction time. So when it comes to the cell phone part, it just adds to the problem. It just adds, es algo más que contribuye, es una cosa más que hace add up a otro hazard que puede pasar, mis amados. Es como, right, si tú ya está tight la situación con traffic, que tú apenas in a automatic vehicle, tú estás gas, brakes, gas, brakes, gas, brakes. Y a un momento estás ahí y tú te descuidas, va a pasar algo. Y la mayoría de las veces, ¿qué pasa? El chofer que choca de atrás tiene la culpa. So, 100% of the time, the driver gets charged with driving without due care and attention. But, like you mentioned, do we need to go to that extent for something to happen to get charged? I understand your question when you say that, why can't we get enforcement? Why can't we charge the individual before it happens? For us enforcement agencies to look at the situation, look at the offense, hey, he's distracted, he's using his phone. Let us go there and charge him or her for driving without due care and attention. That is your question, right, Ms. Amanda? Mm-hmm. For us to go there, right? But then again, it is something that we have a court system, we have a judicial system that we need to abide by. We need to prove anything that we have to the court. And for us officers to be there targeting these things and observing these things, it is something that can be done. And I'm glad that the advisory committee mentioned it, because it's out there. It is something that we need to come as a team, as a community, and work hand in hand for us to fix that problem. Because like I mentioned, me and Corporal Marin can only do much. He and his team, we have done a great job when it comes to enforcing all type of situations, Mr. Mandy. And I must commend 100% the situation that was being taken care of when it comes to the motorcycles. A couple, not to divert or deviate from what we are talking about the topic, but I must say that if we recall months ago, Mr. Mande, Orange Walk was the district that had the highest amount of traffic accident and traffic fatalities when it comes to motorcycle, right? If you have noticed, we listen to the news, we hear in the radios, we do not listen to many people crashing and dying, right? Fatalities have been at a lower rate when it comes to motorcycle, if none, for a month, when Orange Walk was one of the highest rated in motorcycle and traffic accident. So what we try and do, Mr. Amanda, for example, we try and target one thing at a time. We were dealing with cycles, and we have done a good job with the motorcycles. They are at a level we haven't got 100%. Mm-hmm. We still have 1 and 2% there out there with the big exhaust or with the cherry bomb or something, whatever the attachment they have. They're still out there 1 or 2, but it's few. But when it comes to traffic accidents and traffic fatalities, it has been minimized to a very low percentage, Mr. Mandy. And all of that is due to the hard work that the departments have been putting in. Mr. Marin, along with Mr. Sib, I know Mr. Sib has been working hand in hand with us, with Mr. Mendoza from the National Transport. We have been doing so good when it comes to the inspection, taking it to the inspection level, whereby if your cycle is not qualified or meets the requirements that we ask for at an inspection level, we won't license your cycle. And that's when our guys come in, the operation team, the traffic wardens, the school wardens that take the initiative and stop these guys at the schools ones, issue them tickets. These guys are learning. Like how you said, Mr. Man, be it the hard way, be it enforcing through a ticket or sometimes just a warning. But we're out there doing the best that we can. And when it comes to this phone business, Mr. Mande, it is something that phone is a necessity these days. We communicate through phone. Every single day, phone is part of our daily life. We need this. It is no longer something that we can say that we don't need. We need it. It is like a food.
Some people cannot walk without a phone in their hand.
Yeah.
It's
The
so
first thing you do,
part of them, no?
the first thing three of us did before we came out of our vehicle was to check for our phones.
Yes, yeah, yes.
Not for our wallet, for our phones.
Yes, yes, uh-huh.
So it is something, Mr. Mande, that it's our daily, it's like bread and butter, and you need your phone to communicate. But nothing is wrong with using it, Mr. Mande. But like how you said, we need to practice the right way to do it. I mean, is it worth it for us to get distracted and just be distracted by a phone, by a message? And it's not only calls, messages. And some of us get a long message, like a paragraph, and we want to read some, and we reach our bump, we want to read the rest. And it's something that is very delicate. At the same time, it's something that is a necessity for us on our daily life. But it's a balance that we need to strike. And for us enforcement officers to clamp down on that, we need assistance from the general public. It is something that we need help with, Mr. Mande.
Officer, let me ask you a question. Are both of you, your departments, receiving support, training support in dealing with these cases? For example, somebody is caught driving and causing an accident while using a phone in the hand, right? The person is arrested. Will be arrested for driving without due care and attention, not from that person. The person is fined, Corporal Marine. They go to court and they have to pay so much. Does it end there? I'm trying to get this. When this person has been charged in the court by the magistrate to pay so much for damage that has caused, will they just pay it and forget the rest? Or is there an alternative that you pay this for what you have caused, but you have to attend a 3-day session in being advised what not to do next time? You don't have that yet, not true? You only pay the fine and Chicago?
Well,
Because they will go out and do the same thing.
as far as I know, up to now, well, I don't think we have any, like you said, advice or legal advice committee as to that, no?
Can the magistrate sentence a person? You have to come 3 times a week for 1 month to get advice from the traffic department to avoid another accident like that. Can that be done?
That's a thing that can be implemented.
This is not automatic, right?
It's not automatic, but maybe if it could be implemented, but then you have to bring something in the laws as to that, no?
That's what I'm asking. Are you prepared? Are you trained to deal with cases like that? Or they only have to pay and that's it, go. And they go back and commit again. They're not prepared. They're not trained to avoid another accident later. But it has to come from the police. And can the police do anything to implement such a practice? Or somebody has to push it for the police? Or a politician has to pick it up to bring it up to the police department? What I'm saying that we need to have more laws that these things be avoided. Make them not do it again.
Are you understand?
Because they can say, I will do it again.
Well,
What can you do?
we can just do as far as we advise the drivers not to
But to advise
Convince-
this driver in a forceful way, you have to come here 3 times a week to listen to us. Not just half advice and finish, go. Have to sit down for 1 hour and listen to you.
like I said, Mr. Mandy, there is nothing of such up to now, no? But regrettably, it's only like you said, go to court and get fined. Well, like you said, it's from the driver who will take learning from that, no? As we are doing so much enforcement within the highways and the roads within the town with this Mr. Hill and his team, we try to reduce the traffic offenses within the town and what's not. No?
Officers, can your departments prepare handouts manually, paper like that with some practices, positive practices to avoid accidents, and give it out? Can you people prepare that? Can somebody in your department be appointed to do something like that with the approval of the
With
people?
the use of the road, we usually issue pamphlets as to when it comes to the use of the road, no? Especially when it comes to drinking and driving. Well, not.
Yeah, we have that for over the years.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying is, it's like this one right now. There's no law towards this one about the driving with the cell phone being attended by you while driving. Can handout be made? Can a police group in the traffic department be appointed to say, "Uno work, you have a month to prepare some pamphlets to give out to the people"? People love pamphlets, you know. You pass and you give to them. They
Mhm.
like it. They like it. All right. So, you think it can be done? Can it be done?
Well,
Can you help prepare?
we could prepare some pamphlets so as to enhance especially the drivers to be more careful. No? We could that's like an initiative, good initiative, so as to make the drivers be more careful on the
the
road.
Citizens Advisory Committee is prepared to assist.
Well,
To assist.
that
to
could
get
be
the material, make somebody print it for you.
that could be implemented by within our own community, no? To be more safeguard and to avoid accidents on the roads.
Yes, let them read it.
I think that will be that's a good point.
Yeah, because there's no law to that right now. So we need to do something to encourage them to kind of control these things. Another one before I forget. There are some gadgets today that I've seen in vehicles here in Oranjua. They install it in their vehicle and they put the phone there. So they don't have to handle the phone. From there they can talk. Is that possible? Can drivers be encouraged to have these? I don't know how you call them, but you put your phone there and you could talk to them. You don't have to hold it. You just press the button. You don't have to hold nothing in there. Can that be done? Can you encourage drivers to do that? And if so, search the shops around town. Maybe you find. But these things are available. I've seen it in some cars here in our job. Then they drive and they talk, but they're not holding the phone. That's safer. We're finding ways to avoid accidents, officers. I was just thinking of that as I was coming here. What do you think? Tekre, can it be done? Or you have to get permission from the higher man up there to do it? Can't you have the initiative in your department to say, make we prepare some handouts to encourage drivers to be more careful, man? And both of you. Can that be done? You might say, well, we don't got the money. Fine, you don't got the money. But we can find it. That's why we as Citizens Advisory Committee is there.
Mr. Mandy, yes, I'm hearing you, I'm listening to you, and I am thinking of the words you're saying. And yes, we don't have the money. We might say we don't have the money, and we can find the money. We can't find the money. You mentioned something very keen just now. We can't find the money, but it's not about money, Mr. Mane. To me, in my perspective, in my view, what I would recommend to that situation is for, all right, you have the same advisory committee, and this is something good that we're doing. We are dialoguing. We are trying to figure out and finding a way, right? But the only way and the only thing that would solve this situation, Mr. Manley, is for something concrete to be passed on in law to specify do's and don'ts while operating a motor vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because we can say, yes, chapter 230, driving without due care and attention. Right? You are dealing with a toddler. Es algo simple, Mr. Manley. Simplemente, tú tienes el phone, me estás mencionando el phone, pero tenemos gente que, right, estás manejando, daddy, ábreme ese juice. So, yo vas a manejando y voy a abrir el juice para mi hijo.
Yeah.
Right? Yo estoy abriendo un juice, paso otro chamaco y
Yeah.
¿entiendes? So driving without due care and attention is a charge that can be levied to anyone. That you can prove to the court that is being distracted, anything that is impeding this person to have full focus on the road and of their surrounding, Mr.
Yeah,
Manley, right?
yeah.
Pero we are working hard to everything that is becoming a habitual practice when it comes to bad driving, right? One step at a time is what we are doing. Manpower is what we need, right? We cannot be. If it were left up to me, I'm saying to put an officer on every pedestrian ramp 24 hours. We cannot do that. It is highly impossible for us to do that with the limited amount of manpower that we have, and for us to enforce these type of specific like specific traffic offenses that are being committed every day, like phones. If it left up to me, the only way we'd have cramped this down, put one officer on each ramp, and we just target it. But can we do that? Can the country afford to do that? No, we can't. We cannot put an officer on every ramp, on every corner, for us to look at who's driving and who's on their phone.
And we get cameras on the streets.
It is something that it goes beyond what we can and cannot do. It is something that we would only think about, dream about, imagine. But the key thing to this, Mr. Manley, is for us as individuals to think and to put in our mind that, is it worth it what I'm doing? Is it worth it for me to take the risk? What is more important, for me to answer this call, or for me to hit a child, or for me to hit an elder? What is more important to me as a driver?
Yeah. You have to remember that some of us are hard-headed. We know what you're supposed to do, but we not do it. And that's where I come in and say, you never do it, you know you should do it, then you pay the consequences. Driving without due care and attention. Get on.
Charge.
That all I'm saying is apply the law to avoid hurting other people. We want to live in safe community. There's no perfect community, but the majority of people living and children living.
I understand, Mr. Manley. I totally
this
understand.
thing is-
For example, the motorcycle.
Because why?
For example, the
excuse me. Here in Orange can Belize and do a lot of nonsense on the street. Cross over to the man, let them drive. Then do it. Then do it.
Can.
All right. That's my comparison. If you do it there, you could do it here. And if you not do it here, you have consequences to pay. That's all I'm saying.
And I will let you know one thing. This is something that our transport manager always says. Why is it that when we go to Chetumal, we are out there spick and span when it comes to driving and our way of moving around? Estamos al día, estamos hasta todo, hasta otras luces queremos poner, estamos bien. Y desde que cruzamos la frontera, queremos hacer lo que se nos pegue las ganas en nuestro propio país. Y debe que ser diferente. Hay que priorizar. We need to prioritize safety in our country, in our home, right? Safety should start within our municipality, within our town, our villages. Those of us that are from village, your Creek, San Lazaro, all these villages, even my own village, Champagne, we need to prioritize safety in our hometown. Because like how you said, why is it that when we go to Chetumal, go to Merida, estamos allá, estamos al día, estamos pendientes, estamos alertos. Cada sign que dice alto, we are there.
Mr. Hill, we learn the rules of traffic there. What about we not learn the ones here in our country? We seem to know the one from outside more than what we should learn here and practice here.
And
That's what
and one thing I will tell Mr. Amanda, it's like how I mentioned on the last program at Warren, it is the generations that we are teaching. For us to start this and to fix this problem, we need to put it in a curriculum in a school. For us to start from what? Preschool, standard 6, 4th farm, 6th farm. You creces con ellos, Mr. Mandy, creces con ellos, creces aprendiendo. Si tú no creciste con algo, tú no lo vas a hacer.
Exactly.
Si no creces con ellos. So, para que nosotros compongamos el problema, tienen que pensar de qué? De la nueva generación. Right? Y nosotros tenemos que ver, tenemos que aprender y tenemos que enseñar. Porque si nosotros no enseñamos, ¿cómo nosotros vamos a esperar que ellos sepan y que ellos aprendan si nosotros no lo enseñamos? Eso tiene que ver mucho con lo que enseñamos.
That's what those countries do from small. They start training those children. How I know I take an interest in finding out what neighboring countries do with traffic, how they obey their rules and laws in their countries from very small. And they produce booklets in art that they have to color and write and things like that. And they continue growing, as you say. By the time they become adults and drivers, they have a strong idea of what safe traffic is. Why we can't do it in Belize? Why? Because we're a small country? Because we're a poor country? Poor excuse. We have to do the things for ourselves. Nobody else will come and do it for us. And that's why we, in the Citizen Advisory Committee, we are so strong about this. We can do it. Not everybody wants to do it, but there are some who want to see that we have safety in our community. But we need the support of the traffic department in Orangewack Town and the Orangewack police section here in Orangewack. So you are our strength, you are our support. We can only say it openly, all right? So we need to advise them, but it has to be stronger than just words. That's what I was suggesting. Can we prepare pamphlets and give it out? Christmas they come. Can we prepare it for Christmas to give out? Corporal, can you discuss it with your superiors so that by Christmas we start sharing it out on the main streets? Or something like that? On traffic? Because every Christmas we're giving out, you stand up by the party and give out pamphlets concerning safety of your house. Lock your house, lock your door, do this, do that, do that. Or you forget the traffic part of it. ¿Qué hacemos? It's a challenge we are giving you.
Lo único que hay que hacer, Mr. Manny, para mí, in my perspective, is to think as an individual. Porque nadie te puede decir, te podemos decir cómo manejar, te podemos enseñar cómo manejar, pero si tú no tienes en tu mente, en tu corazón, hacer lo correcto, Mr. Manny, no estás en nada. Si tú no tienes en tu mente, ¿sabes qué? Hoy ya no va a correr ese red light. Cada que da las 5 yo corro ese red light para que esté apurado.
Somebody calling in. Hello. Again?
So the caller is saying that, what should I do if you make your wife answer the phone? Suppose you get on bad news. Suppose and tell you know what? your brother just crashed and something, algo mal pasó. Tú estás manejando, you are having the vehicle in motion while it's getting any news. What would be your reaction? Sufres de tu corazón. Hay gente que se le sube y se baja su azúcar, su presión. So the best thing would be like how you said, Mr. Man, you rightfully said it. You pull on the side, you put your vehicle on park, and then you answer whatever call. Whatever message you get on the other side of the phone, you're a parked vehicle, your vehicle is not in motion. ¿Entiendes? ¿Qué tal si cualquier mensaje que tú consigues te da un cardiac arrest? Y tú estás, your vehicle is in motion. You have a motorcyclist in front of you, you have pedestrians crossing. Come on, so it's something that I wouldn't say it's the right thing to do. It's not the best option. We can do better. We can do better. The best thing in any situation, my advice out there, would be to pull on the side and answer whatever call, whatever message you need to answer.
So
That
we have
would
to
be my
push
advice.
that suggestion, officer. We have to push that. You did drive, then call you, go one side, park right there.
In 10
And
years of
attend-
my experience,
attend
Mr.
to it.
Mad, in 10 years of my experience, I have witnessed, I have seen different situations that called for different reaction, you understand? We had people that were driving and se baja su azúcar, se sube su presión. Consigues una llamada que alguien chocó, falleció. ¿Cómo tú vas a reaccionar? ¿Qué es tu reacción? Eres de mente fuerte, eres de mente débil. And for you to put yourself and your passengers at risk, the best thing would be for you to pull on the
The
side.
safest
answer
thing and
anytime.
best thing is to park on the side and attend to that.
Mr. Mande, 100%, that's what I would recommend to every and anyone out there.
So that is the big one for tonight on this situation that we have.
Yes, Mr. Mande.
Receive it, go on the side and attend to it.
Yep. From
But we have to
there,
work on that.
you can assess, because the first thing when we do when we get a call or a message, Mr. Mande, we want to answer that person. Vaya, vas a llegar. Tú quieres decirle, vaya, sabes que ya mero. And you would want to take the risk and ahí vas a. O vas a decir, like, babe, hazme text este. O vaya, hazme text este para mí. And by doing that, se lo dices, se fue el message. Ya quedó azul los arrows de WhatsApp y todo. Todo eso ¿ves? Es algo que es un tema, Mr. Manny, que si vamos a empezar ese tema, nunca vamos a acabar. Y cada uno como chofer tiene esa responsabilidad. Todos, para mí que todos saben lo que es peligro y lo que no es peligro. Todos saben, ya va a llegar el bump. Bueno, pues venga, Hannah got text. And you the right to time the bump, you the right to play with your brakes. You know it's about you to time it.
Yeah.
You can't imagine you soon reach one junction. You can't imagine you soon reach one ramp. You can't imagine by the time you reach the light one red. You can't. You need to have total, like, tienes que estar consciente, tienes que estar preparado, tienes que estar 100% en el camino, porque then accidente pasa en un rato. Después lo único que vas a decir es hubiera hecho eso, hubiera.
Right.
El hubiera no existe.
Right,
El hubiera no
right.
existe. Es el ahora. Y ahora lo que hay que hacer ahora, Mr. Mande, es como ese programa está dedicado a Miss Cornell.
Yes.
Miss Cornell hizo tanto trabajo, hizo advice a mucha gente. She was a very lovely lady. Whenever she showed, she was
Yes.
like, guys, good job, you know.
Yes.
Y
Yes.
para toda la gente que managed to get one or two of her advice, share the message. Share the message, because puede que sea, ella se fue, Diosito ya no nos llevó, pero lo que ella hizo para este municipality, porque yo no la conocí, aparte de lo que la persona que era acá, en Orange Rock, hizo mucho, sembró bastante información, she planted many seeds
Yeah.
in many persons, and it's on us now to do our part. Like how I said, Mr. Mande, me, Kappa Marin, can do our best that we can, you know. But then sometimes, when you hear about an accident happening, like us whilst home, I am home many of times back in the past when motorcyclists were often catching accidents. I was here when I hear about a traffic accident happening. I was like, man, am I and my team not doing a good job? What can I do? What can I talk to my team about? How can we go ahead and just do something to stop this? You know, es una tristeza cuando escuchas que choca a alguien muere alguien, y luego tú sales al otro día a trabajar y ves niños, 3, 4 niños en una moto, que porque el gas está muy caro, y me resulta más hacer un viaje en vez de 2, 3 viajes. And I often tell people, is it worth it? $3 gas, $4 gas. It's not worth it. No, it's worth it.
Maybe the Ministry of Traffic or Transport, whatever they call it, should start thinking about and coming up with new rules and regulations and laws of safety traffic practices for the public one. We don't hear much about them, only when they have fight about this and fight about that we have the traffic ministry is saying or doing something. Maybe the Citizens Advisory Committee should start making a bit of noise and approaching these ministries to see what can be done. And that will cover and defend you people, because you have to be prepared for that. Right? So, Corporal, do you find this common in the court, in the police station, with drivers being charged for driving without due care and attention? Is this something common practice here in Orange, where the police are involved, traffic police, or once in a while you get that? How is it? Do you have a lot of cases of driving without due care and attention here in Orange or in the villages?
Well, we have a lot of accidents within town and villages.
Is that caused by without due care and attention?
Yes, it's most of them is without due care and attention. Most of them are, I would say, minor traffic accidents where
Yes.
it's just like what they can say, fender bender, or maybe the driver, or like you said, it's just drove without due care and attention. It happens so quick, no? In most of the cases, well, both drivers usually want to settle the case through their insurance, no? But it's a matter that
That's the other thing.
They could still be charged for that offense.
That is the other thing, officers. People find a way around to beat the system. Instead of facing the court or the police, they're going to work something else with their insurance or whatever. But they find a way to go around, or find an attorney who will swing the whole thing around, and they get away with it. How in the world are we going to improve safety and security in our community, man?
Hay que ser realistas con ese tema, Mr. Mandy, right? Lo que pasa con eso es como dice Mr. Marin, right? Pasa un bumper to bumper. Me chocaron. Because the man that distracted my phone. Bop, it touched bumper. I come out, and I've seen this. I come out, I wipe my lead. No le pasa nada a mi vehículo mucho, ¿sabes? Lo más que yo voy a gastar es como $100 o 150. Pero sale el chofer que me chocó. Ya aceptó culpa. Vais a ver que toma, te va a dar $500. Ahora yo solo voy a pagar 150 para componer mi bumper. Vai, toma acá 500. Yo no quiero que mi nombre vaya en record ni nada. ¿Qué uno hace? The man no want nothing. He accept that deal. And they go along. Now, has that guy learned his lesson? ¿Entiendes? Y por eso es un tema that we have to tread carefully about how we touch it. Because we don't want to offend nobody.
That's why it has to be set in.
We no want to throw stones for nobody, Mr. Mandy, but it is on us as an individual, as a driver. ¿Entiendes? Que nosotros levantemos cada día y vamos a decidir, Mr. Marin, pues hoy, ¿sabes qué? Porque hay gente que hace algo cada día. Y una vez que lo hiciste una vez, lo vas a hacer otra vez. And we only work certain hours. We need to go home, too. We have our loved ones, too, that are waiting for us home. You know, but then, is it worth it? And for Orange Rock to be a better and a safe driving community, everyone needs to put in their 100%, Mr. Mandy.
We have to push that.
No tiene que ver, like, es bueno, el programa es bueno, we got your back, I love it, I like it, but at the same time, I really hope people, they listen and they take it into consideration, like, is it worth it? A lot of people, and I don't know, like, a lot of people will see me tomorrow and I may say, I like your program, I may like the program, or no, I may add this or add that, or people comment and other people concerned, and we have people with different concerns, Mr. Mande. And that's why this topic, I love the topic because that one topic what we see every day. And at some point, I think that people who do it, if they kept fit, you wear it.
Yeah.
And I bet you most Orange Kenyans have the hat on right now, Mr. Mande. Casi todos los Orange Kenyans que manejan tienen esa cachucha puesto. Because at some point in our life, we have done it. Either answer a call or send a message or reply or just read a message. We have done it. Right? So it's something that igual como estamos componiendo problemas de motos, Mr. Mande, que como le dije, ya estamos a un nivel, ¿ve? ¿Cuándo fue la última vez que escuchamos con una moto chocó y alguien murió? Ya tiene ratos. And I call some beat the board, but we have been doing a good job, Mr. Sib, along with the leadership of Mr. Marin, with the traffic department. They have been doing an exceptional job.
It's a constant practice that uno
Sí, pero estamos,
so it will work.
yes, it's a non-stop, and Mr. Mendoza is doing an splendid job when it comes to at the inspection level. Mr. Mendoza, along with his team, enforcing out there on the public service, on the public highways. These guys in the town, in the outskirts, our team as a municipality within town. Como dicen, la gente va a llorar, vaya, pero no sabía, vaya, pero acá, vaya, pero allá. But you know what? You pay one ticket, and do it again. At some point, like I mentioned, Mr. Mande, we need to make examples of people because a veces es una situación que quisieras dar break cada día. Cada día tú quisieras entender tu situación. Me olvidé mi helmet, vaya, bueno, pues te va a dar un break. Cada día quisiéramos ser buenas personas y dar break, pero eso es una manera de you at the same time you broke the one law by you not enforcing, by you putting a blind eye to certain situations. That is you breaking the law as enforcement officers, right? Because we cannot go there every day and just put a blind eye to everything, Mr. Mande. We need to go there, we need to put our foot down, and we need to book people so people can learn that, you know what?
Yeah, and some people come up and say, you know, Sabia, I never know. Well, the saying says, ignorance of the law is no excuse.
It's not exactly,
all
Mr.
right?
Mande,
But they don't
exactly.
understand that. They want to learn the hard way.
I have learned certain things from a very wise person, and it is something that I learned very well. And in life, you have things that are choices and consequences. We do choices in our everyday life, and everything that we do has consequences, Mr. Mande. If we choose to park illegally, we get a ticket. If we choose to run a red light, we get a ticket. We have choices and consequences every single day in our regular life and whilst driving. So it's upon us to make that choice. We can't catch everybody, but for those of you guys who we catch and we book, just know that whatever your situation was, you had a choice. You had a choice to insure, you had a choice to license, you had a choice to use a helmet, you had a choice not to run the red light, you had a choice to wait for the light to turn green. So everything in life, Mr. Mande, is about choices, and every choice that we make in our everyday life has consequences.
We have to remember that it is the responsibility or obligation of everybody to obey the last one. Es obligación de todos obedecer la ley. If you obey the laws, everything will go well. If you don't obey it, you have broke it, you're getting in trouble. So it's a matter of time, educating, learning, and things like that. So I would like to ask that we end at this time, giving your last word, and your last word, Corporal, before I say my last word.
My last word to this, Mr. Wande, would be that I love challenges when it comes to enforcing law, and I'm willing to accept any challenges that is of a concern, that is of a risk for Ranger Kenyans, for people in the town that commutes, that transit the road, be it by pedestrian, by bicycle, or anything. On that topic, I will definitely look into it. I will definitely see and how we can go about doing something. Just like as how the situation with the motorcycles got under control
Right.
because
Yes.
of our input and our concern,
Very good.
our strategic way of operating with that situation.
And it worked.
It worked and it
Alright.
is working, Mr. Mande. So don't get me wrong. I'm up for the challenge as a senior transport officer, over 10 years in my department, in my municipality, and the best I want for this town is the best that will involve everyone, Mr. Mande. Everyone, including people that are walking. You mentioned something about people that are driving on phone. Mr. Mande, we have people that are walking and they are texting. Pedestrians play an important role. The light green for the vehicle for cross, but the pedestrian here, the cross, the text. Now, not here for pass, the vehicle for pass, but the pedestrian, the walk, the text. So it goes both ways, Mr. Mande. So it's a huge challenge, and I'm up for the challenge, and we're going to work hand in hand to fix this problem. And I know Mr. Marvin will agree with me, and he's up for the challenge as well when it comes to
Let the
enforcing.
law be created, man. Let the law be
Yes,
created.
man.
That
Definitely. Definitely.
becomes offensive. It's against the law to be doing these things. Otherwise, we will continue forever like that. We're going to lose lives.
Yes,
Anyway,
Mr.
thank you very much, Mr. Edwin.
Yes, Mr. Mande.
Capral, your last words to help save people.
Well, once more, I just want to make the drivers continue to be more focused on the road. Let it be this word of advice to them once more, and to be more careful on the road, and take care of our people, of their own lives too. And I just want to make them take this word of advice. The police is not here only for arrest and charge. We are here for advice. Sometimes we use our discretion. Sometimes we don't need to charge. Well, it depends on how serious the matter is, the accidents are. No? But we are here once more to advise the general public and especially the drivers to be more focused and be more careful. I would like to thank and commend Ms. Dorita Burgos and Mr. Hill. Under his leadership, we have done so much along with his team. The Orijok formation, we are there not the whole day, but the officers who work relief also have made an enforcement on their tour of duty also within the traffic offenses. And we also work with the transport department, who we also work in hand. And due to this, we have, like Mr. Hill said, we have lowered a lot of accidents within our community. And I wish all drivers and road users to be more safe, and hopefully we continue to lower more the accidents within our community.
Thank you, Carpal. Thank you very much. And I would like to finish by saying thanks to everybody who listened to us. But before I close, I want to say a big thank you to all those businesses who help us in our fundraising committee, fundraising barbecue sale that we had in August, the ending of August. Especially in Shipyard, we have some Mennonites who donated chickens and pork and other things. Another neighborhood watch groups from San Felipe, Agaspan Ridge, San Lazaro, Palmar, and so on, for having helped us. All right. So thank you very much. Gracias a todos ustedes por ayudarnos. Gracias a los Menonitas de Shipyard. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. And I want to invite everybody for the 4th of November. Our next show will be on the 4th of November. No, the 7th of November. And that night, 7th of November, we're going to be having a fiesta right in here with the boom, 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 boom,
So we
boom,
invited
boom, boom.
too, or we have?
Huh?
We invited too.
Of course, we're going to invite all of you to come and jump the punta and whatnot. It will be the celebration of
our practice.
our Garifuna brothers and sisters in Oranjua.
That's good. That's
So
good.
it's coming big. I understand they're going to celebrate it big, but we want him we want to invite him to come and share it with us on the 7th of November, the next talk show we're going to have. Yes.
Okay.
I want to thank the technicians in here for helping us, and to Ms. Kami, the manager, to allowing us to be here. Right? Thank you very much a todos. Gracias. Thank you. And thanks to everybody. And please, let's try be safe in whatever we do, especially while driving, and be careful with those cellular phones. They are pretty and everything, but we have to know how to handle them. Okay? So once again, thank you very much. Gracias. God bless you. Bye-bye.